Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Welcome to the GNN Cantina Happy Hour. It's Thursday night. We're ready to talk about Star Wars at the only place where the Force is with us and we are one with the Force. Welcome aboard. I am David, your host. We hope you have a great time with us tonight. We're going to be talking about the Bad Batch season 2, episode 3. Let me get my numbers right here. But before that, Debbie's with us tonight. How are you, Debbie?
Doing good. I'm excited to talk about this episode because I really liked it.
This I think has been the best episode thus far. But we'll get into that. Hold your thoughts. Cam is also with us. Cam.
Hello.
How are you, Cam?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Hey, you know what? Up until today, it's been like 80 degrees outside, and today.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Today it dropped down into the 60s.
Oh, man.
Well, it hailed today in Tennessee. I'm sitting here, I'm sipping my coffee, and then outside I just hear. I'm like, oh my god, what is that? I look outside, and there's ice flying everywhere. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
That happens in Texas all the time. That's nothing big.
Indiana too. Although it just rained today. It was just gloomy and crappy all day.
No. The last 2 or 3 days have been bright, sunny, and in the 80s. And not only in the 80s, but like even in the morning, it's still like in the 60s. So it's not like you even have to put your jacket on to go to work. It's like a good spring day up north. You know, we don't here in Texas. We have 2 seasons, summer and February. So we're kind of there. Geek Gauntlets on. How are you, William?
Hey.
William!
Woo! We love William. He's on the Geek Gauntlet podcast Saturday nights right here on GNN. Same channel. Oh, we're all good. We are good.
Yep. Can't complain. Not that you'd want to hear, but
yeah. So let's dive right into this. We are episode 3 of season 2, and this was Cam. You said this before the show started. I think this has been so far the best episode, and that's not saying much because there's only 3 episodes. But
honestly, I feel this is just me. This is coming from somebody who wasn't really a huge fan of the show initially. Honestly, I think this is the best episode of the entire series so far.
Oh, well, there you go. A lot of character development, a lot of growth.
It was
it was sad.
I'm not going to say super dark, but it was a dark episode.
It was dark, but it was sad too. I thought okay, let me give a quick synopsis real quick. So basically this is not synopsis necessarily, but this is now I can't even think of his name.
Crosshair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Crosshair and how he is fitting into the new Empire. If you remember from season 1, he betrayed the Bad Batch. He's working for the Empire now, and now the Empire the Camino's gone, so he is actually working with the Empire now, and it's basically how he's adjusting, fitting in, and I think one of the things, and it really got me, and I was really sad about it too, was right at the first of the episode. And by the way, we're talking spoilers here, so if you haven't seen it yet,
oops,
pause this, go watch it, and then come back and unpause this. And
pause this live video.
Well, don't watch the live video. Come back in.
I can subscribe and come back later.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. I like Debbie's idea a lot better.
It's on YouTube, so you can see it later. You can watch it later. Watch it at work tomorrow. Anyway, so one of the scenes that really got me was when he first woke up, and he's going through his routine. He goes to the chow hall, and he sits down next to two other troopers who are very obviously clones. Now, at this point in the Empire, I'm guessing there's a lot of conscripts mixed with the clones
Mhm.
as the army moves away from the cloning and into the conscripts. But he sits with these two clones, and they both just
They don't like him.
mean girl
They kick rocks right out of there.
nothing. I mean, they just basically looked at him, grabbed their trays, stood up, and walked out. And I was like, wow. That's just and you could see it in his face too. He thought these are his brothers. They're clones as well. Now granted he's an altered clone, but he's still a clone. So just to see that look on his face to where he was like, okay, well maybe I can find a friend here, and he doesn't.
I kind of wonder if even though Force 99 went rogue, I wonder if the other clones kind of hold a resentment against him because he tried to kill him.
Well, probably not just that, but I'm sure that most of these clones still harbor that mentality of good soldiers follow orders.
Right.
And he was part of a squad of soldiers that didn't follow orders. So
Even
guilty
though
by association.
Even though he was the exception to that rule. So who knows? Or maybe they look at him as he's a clone, but he's an altered clone, so he's not really one of us.
Right.
He's just kind of
outcast.
Yeah. He has no place. He's a man without a world. So
now I'm pretty sure it was in that scene that those clones were talking about some new like bill or policy being passed. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but what it was called made me think that it was a policy to bring in more conscripts into the stormtrooper, numbers, and that they said that they hope it doesn't pass for their sake. So I think they're worried about being decommissioned.
Well, and honestly, I could see them being decommissioned, and for the reason that they are, for all intents and purposes, they are on an accelerated growth. I mean, so far as we know right now, Boba Fett and Omega were the only two that did not receive the
chip or the alteration or the
DNA alterations, genetic alterations to where they age faster. I think she said it in episode 2 to where she said something along the lines of it takes like 10 years to grow for a clone, and now it only takes 10 years for a clone to reach full maturity. So I mean they're aging literally twice as fast as humans. So yeah, you're going to want to switch to conscripts at some point because all of your clones are going to get old, and you don't want.
And they did away with Camino, so there's no more clone.
Yeah, there's not any more coming. So and we kind of saw that too in the Obi-Wan series where he was on the planet and he saw the clone trooper there begging basically, and he was looking older and gray and what you would expect a clone trooper 10 years past. So instead of being 20 at this point, he's 40. So I mean, he's obviously aging a lot faster. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we find out that Crosshair's been assigned to a unit, and that the commander of this unit, I see you, Debbie. The commander of this unit had requested him by name, specifically requested him, and we get to him, and this may have been one of my disappointments with this episode, and I'll get to it in a minute. But we get a good look at the commander, and guess what? It's Cody. It is Commander Cody in his new armor, new uniform, and he's looking great, and he's all excited. And I was wasn't let down by Cody. I'm glad he was there. I was kind of let down by Cody at his actions toward the end. And
Why?
well, because honestly, okay, I think back to it, and Order 66 happened, and Cody was the first one that got the order, and that was right after he had tossed Obi-Wan his lightsaber and said, "Here, you might need this." Obi-Wan takes off, execute Order 66, and I remember from the novel there was actually a line in the novel to where Cody thought to himself something along the lines of, "Well, I wish I wouldn't have given him his lightsaber back because, you know, he's gonna." And then, but Cody, without even execute Order 66, blast him. I mean, he didn't even think about it. He just said, "Okay, kill him," and it was just, you had this whole brutal mentality, and you could kind of see it working out in Rex in the final seasons of the Clone Wars. But really, I honestly wanted some of these beloved clones that we have grown up watching. I mean, through the Clone Wars TV shows, through episode 3, through episode 2, some of these beloved clones to stay bad. I mean, to stay the we're still under Order 66 and we're going to kill Jedi and things like that, and good soldiers follow orders, basically. So when Cody, at the end, Cody's basically goes AWOL. He defects. I'm sure he'll end up with Rex at some point. But like I said, that kind of disappointed me because I really wanted to see him stay as part of the bad guys. Is that a good way to say
I was the exact opposite. I was ecstatic, to say the least, because you do kind of wonder what these people or what these clones felt. And he said it. He said a lot of the clones are having their doubts about Order 66. And it's nice to know they still have a conscience even after that, even though some of them, obviously Crosshair does not. That may change later in the season. I don't know if we're going to get like a whole redemption arc out of him.
Who, for Crosshair or for Cody?
Yeah, for Crosshair. But I think you could tell throughout the episode, Crosshair would make comments here and there, especially towards the end. And you could just see Cody reacting like this isn't right. What we're doing, we're not bringing peace to the galaxy.
Geek Gauntlet says, of the shows that have been released, which is your favorite?
Animated
or okay,
or live action?
Let's say this: all of them, animated and live action. Favorite? Give me a favorite.
So, but between everything animated and live action, I gotta say that my favorite show is Rebels.
Wow.
I find the writing, the character growth, the arcs in that show, I find it to, and the lore building as well, I find it to be really, really profound. So yeah, I got to give it to Rebels.
Man, I have a hard time with this because I love Clone Wars, I love Rebels, I love Mando.
Andor. Hey, let's not forget Andor.
Andor, and I know you guys disagree, but Kenobi. Boba Fett would be lower on that list, but
I liked Kenobi. I thought Kenobi was great. It had Darth Vader in it. How can a show have Darth Vader in it and not be good? I'm sorry. That just makes Darth Vader makes everything better.
Yeah, I just like how, especially now with these other shows coming out, they're all and I've said this from the very beginning, they're all going to connect and they're all going to lead up to the sequels, as much as everybody says it's not, but it will. So yeah, all of this is just leading up to the sequels.
It's leading up, and honestly too, it's I read an article somewhere that there's a rumor going around that someone from the sequel trilogy a character from the sequel trilogy will be making an appearance in, not a major character, but will be making an appearance in the 3rd season of Mando.
Well, I thought,
Basically,
Oz?
I thought, well, it might be Babu Frick. We saw him in the trailer.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's no, I'm not thinking. I'm hoping. I hope it's some character that will be put into it, and he will have a great story, and everybody's gonna be like, yes, and then they're gonna be like, wait a minute, he's from the sequel trilogy. We hate the sequel trilogy. This is the worst season of Mando, or Mando's tying everything together. It's the greatest thing ever. Now the sequels are awesome.
Well, there's people out there who think that it's going to decanonize the sequels, which
I don't think it will. I think
happen. I'm not a fan of the sequels. I mean, I love Force Awakens, the other two, but sorry, Cam. But
you don't have to keep on apologizing to me every time you don't give The Last Jedi a 10 out of 10. It's okay.
I mean, I watch them. They're just not my favorite because of how they disrespected the characters and how the characters should have gone. A few of the
in
characters.
your opinion. In your
from
opinion.
a certain point of view,
From
yes.
a certain point of view. I like the sequels, and I'm anxious to see Mando tie the sequels to the original trilogy in a sense. Just for the soul, having the satisfaction of saying, you see, the sequels are now part of this, and you can't get rid of them.
I'm hoping it's Maz, and we get a backstory on how she got Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest holes in the story that I didn't like.
I just left it hanging.
Just tell me how you did it. It's a good story for another time. You never got to that other time. Come on.
Very true. Unless that's going to be explained in the supposed movies that are coming out later.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. I really, really liked Andor, but The Mandalorian is really, really good too. And honestly, if I had to think about it, as far as animated goes, if I was to go animated, I don't think I would go Clone Wars, and I don't think I would go Rebels. I think I would go with the Clone Wars micro series that came out.
Oh,
I loved that. I thought that was great. I'm not a big fan of that style of animation, but it works well with Star Wars.
No.
So
hell no.
Come on, Debbie.
We bask in your misery, Debbie.
That's all right.
That's just from a certain point of view.
Mm-hmm.
There you
That's
go.
Fine.
You don't have to have my opinion, but if you don't, you suck. So
it just wasn't my favorite. Just like Visions. I think there's one, maybe two episodes that I halfway enjoyed.
The anime ones?
The anime anthology.
Yeah. I haven't even finished it yet. I think I've still got like 2 or 3 episodes to watch.
You better hurry up.
Yeah.
Season 2 is coming out.
I know season 2's coming.
Yeah, it was definitely hit or miss. I mean, there were some really high notes that it hit. I mean, what like when it was good, but I'd say like good to not so good as far as a ratio. I'd say it was a good like 20-80 ratio.
I'd give it a 2.5, 3, maybe.
Out of what?
Out of 10.
My God.
Oh, come on, Debbie.
See, Dave, I don't like everything.
We know you liked Grogu and the Dust Bunnies.
No, I didn't like that either.
I watched that just the other day, and
I still don't understand it.
Well, I don't think there's really anything to understand. It was just a cute little short of Grogu. I don't like it. It's not tying into anything. It's not supposed to set up anything for Grogu. It's just a cute little animated short. And I don't know. I'm a big Studio Ghibli fan, so I liked seeing the little dust bunnies again.
Well,
didn't.
I like shorts. I mean, I like the Groot shorts. Those were
Oh, the Groot
cute.
shorts were hilarious.
And they really didn't have too much to do with the movies even at all, but yeah,
This one, Grogu and the Dust Bunnies, was basically a we need to keep our marketing ploy relevant is what we need to do.
We're Studio Ghibli. Look what we can do.
Yeah. Let's see.
William, I always have the dark side.
Yeah. Okay, if I botched your name, I apologize. Kill You Alicious. That looks about right.
Yeah.
Never met these guys before. Asks also if we liked the Book of Boba Fett.
I liked the last 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. I found much of the series to be mediocre. I did not like how they. I didn't like much of what they did with Boba Fett. And when you don't like the titular character in a show about that character, it presents a bit of a problem.
I think they should have called it. I think they should have just said it's The Mandalorian Season 3. It's not the Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. Just say we're going to call this Mandalorian Season 3. Because you could take the show The Mandalorian and you can say, okay, well, today we're going to focus on Din Djarin. And this season we're going to focus on Boba Fett. And this season we're going to focus on Bo-Katan. You have a myriad of Paz Vizsla. That was his name, right? That's with the hanging out with the armor. He's one of
the heavy Mandalorian, as he was called before.
The big one, yeah.
Vizsla?
Yeah, I think it's Paz.
Yeah, Paz Vizsla.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got a myriad of Mandalorians that you could say, okay, we're gonna do a season for each one of these, and then like every 5th season, all of them are going to come together and build into one big story, and we'll have the big group dynamic. We'll have the Avengers movie, and then we'll do 5 more seasons, and then we'll have the next
crisis
Avengers
event, movie. Like in the DC universe.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, Book of Boba Fett honestly probably should have been called Mando Season 3, and I completely agree with you. I did not like the way that they took him. I didn't like the fact that they called him a crime lord, but he ended up being more of a governor.
Yeah, he called himself a crime lord, but he did nothing criminal.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, but it had Danny Trejo in it, so they got that going
for like 3 minutes.
It's funny. Somebody posted something online, and it was from Danny Trejo's Facebook page, and it was the poster of him. And he said of him from the Book of Boba Fett, and it said something like, that time I was in Star Wars. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, but Danny, you were in the movie Fanboys. And that's Star Wars related. You were close there, and that happened a long time ago. Just me, though. In fact, Fanboys may have actually been the last video that I actually rented from Blockbuster.
Really?
Yeah. That's wow. Yeah. There you go. Fennec.
Yeah,
Fennec?
She
I like Fennec.
She had better fight scenes than Boba Fett did.
Yeah. She's cooler than Boba Fett. Okay,
anyways,
let's get back to Bad Batch.
I was going to say, what were we talking about?
We are way off track here. We're talking about the Bad Batch episode 3. This is the Bad Batch episode without the Bad Batch in it.
The anti-Bad Batch episode.
This is the instead of a batch, we've just got the one, so it's just the bad.
It's the solitary clone.
The solitary clone, and again, the title just justifies everything with what's going on with Crosshair. I mean, when he goes to this Imperial commander, the commander's almost like he's a throwaway. You're going to do what you're going to do, but you're not leading anybody, not anymore, not after Camino kind of thing. So I'm sure that was hurtful to him to the point of, I mean, he even said, through gritted teeth, good soldiers follow orders. I mean, he was upset about this and he was mad, but I think too, he was looking at, okay, I'm going to go on this thing and maybe I can redeem myself to the Empire. Maybe I can make myself look better to the Empire, which
he did.
Okay, he did. He followed orders. Basically, what had happened was that the Empire had landed on this planet that was a separatist planet. The governor had had a battle droid army. They caught the governor and all the troopers that had come with him, and Cody's team was sent in to neutralize the situation and put the governor in power, basically, is what it boiled down to. And when they got the governor at the end, the governor, Cody was very much, hey, we need to make a peaceful resolution to this. We need to fix this the right way. And he was talking his way out of it. And then the governor got let go and said, just kill her, execute her. And Cody was like, wait, whoa. You just sat there and heard me say peaceful, and then the next thing you hear is, and there's Crosshair. He just shot her. Didn't even think about it. And I was like, good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah. So. At the end of it, as the as he and Cody were parting ways after the mission in front of the battle memorial, what Cody said, you could tell that what Cody said really hit Crosshair in a major way. It's he says, what separates us from droids? We can make our own decisions, but we have to live with them.
Yeah.
And Dave, I know that you have a bit of an issue with Cody going AWOL, and in some ways I kind of do too. I feel like it was a little too soon, but at the same time, that they had this inhibitor chip in them that compelled them to follow Order 66, but otherwise they're still people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think
too soon.
I don't think it was too soon, because I think Cody's been thinking about this for a while, because like I said earlier, excuse me, as I said earlier, other clones have been having doubts and reservations about Order 66. So you got to know Cody's feeling the same, and it just solidified his reasoning for leaving when he was trying to negotiate a peaceful resolution for this conflict on Desix, and then he succeeds pretty much, and then Crosshairs just kind of blows it out of the sky, and so I think at that moment that solidified, yeah, we're not doing what we think we're doing. We're not bringing a peaceful galaxy. We're just bringing tyranny and fear.
I like the at the end of it all, you kind of see Crosshair go through his routine again. He looks like he hadn't slept that night, but he gets up in his bed, goes to the mess hall. It's a nice mirror of the opening of the episode, yeah. And it kind of hammers in, the idea of where he was and where he is.
It's almost like the scene in Obi-Wan where there was that one scene in Obi-Wan where it showed him and he's at work, he's cutting the dragon up, and then he takes a piece and he goes away, and then like it shows the next day and he does the exact same thing over and over and over again. But at the same time, Obi-Wan is living a solitary life. He is keeping to himself. He's not getting involved in anything other than buying presents for Luke or whatever. And this is kind of the same thing, to where you've got this one clone that's just kind of living his solitary life and going through his same routine every day, day after day.
And both times he never got to finish his meal.
Yeah, that's right. He got called off both times. Poor guy. He was like,
just as he sits down and takes a bite.
Down and go, I'm eating. Can you wait just a minute? That's just me. I gotta say too. So the governor lands. He marches up there with his troops. I loved the stormtrooper armor in this one. This is it's they're doing this very well to where they're kind of showing the evolution from the clone trooper armor. And it's funny that you would think that armor would evolve, but yeah, it does. So the evolution from the clone trooper armor to where they're more and more stormtrooper looking, like we know them from the original trilogy.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
slowly transitioning, and they're not quite to the original trilogy troopers yet.
But they're damn
That
close.
This trooper armor, mainly it's the helmet you notice the most for the design, but the design they used for the helmets for these non-clone troopers was actually the design that Ralph McQuarrie had for a concept. That's the design they used for this episode.
And this is one of the things that I've really enjoyed, and not just the Clone Wars, but also okay, fine, Rebels. You know, okay, fine. I watched it.
It kills you to admit it, doesn't it?
There were some things I enjoyed about it. And one of the things I enjoyed about it was that they used, and they did this with the Clone Wars in this one, and now this one, to where they're using a lot of that concept art that Ralph McQuarrie came up with. I mean, Zeb.
Yeah, especially in Rebels. Yeah.
Zeb from Rebels was a concept design for Chewbacca.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what Chewbacca was possibly going to look like. Obviously, it didn't go that way, but they said, okay, well, hey, look, there's a creature that's already been designed. Let's put him as the co-pilot of this Rebel ship instead of the co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon. So, I really like that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's always been. I used to have a lithograph of. I had the Ralph McQuarrie prints from Jedi, and I had them from Phantom Menace. And it was just, I mean, it was like this big box. It was like this long, a big steel type box, and you take the top off, and there was each one of these prints, these beautiful prints inside, just concept of what's going on, what's happening in this scene, kind of thing. So good, so good. So I need to see if I can find that. Okay. Concept art. Stormtrooper armor. The governor was kind of he almost kind of sort of reminded me of what's his name from Andor.
Siler or what?
Yeah.
The creepy stalker dude.
Creepy stalker, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And not the creepy stalker aspect of it, but he was almost like he was unsure of what he was doing.
Oh yeah, the governor in this episode was a little chicken shit.
Well, and he was one of those guys too that, yeah, you're right, he was a little chicken shit, but when he was backed, when he had people behind him or standing behind him or around him, I'm the biggest guy in the room. I mean, when I was in the Army, I knew guys like that, and
well, normally those are bullies.
Yeah, and you just got to jump them and put them in their place and say, okay, you're not the biggest guy in the room. Okay, I'm gonna try. How about this? Hey, JoJo, how's it going? I'm not even gonna try your last name, sir. I'm not even gonna try. Batanda, maybe. Hey, JoJo, what's up? How's it going? What are your thoughts, JoJo? What are you thinking of episode 3 of Bad Batch season 2? Let's get everybody involved in this, because like we've all kind of given our opinions. It's probably the best one of the. Cam thinks best one of the series so far. Actually, you know what? I might be agreeing with you on that one. I'm watching season 1 again, just when I can. But I haven't found one that's quite matched this one yet.
Yeah.
I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in, so I still got a ways to go.
I guarantee you that somebody somewhere watched this episode and thought to themselves, Crosshair is not supposed to have feelings. Hashtag not my crosshair.
Not my crosshair. Exactly.
No, did you guys ever watch The Critical Drinker on YouTube?
Occasionally.
I know of it.
I hate that guy, but I'm a huge fan of the now Knives Out franchise. I thought that Knives Out and Glass Onion were fantastic films.
Yeah.
This guy, so the Critical Drinker did a review of Glass Onion, and not only was he basically blatantly lying to everybody, talking about, oh well, this was never set up, but it was, and it was just really, really bad. But the whole review was basically a dig on Rian Johnson, and so watching that got me thinking, oh my God, I mean, like people are just rabid to this day, and so now I'm watching this episode, and somebody somewhere is thinking, wait a minute, Crosshair was never set up to have these kind of feelings before.
They need to get Ryan. You know what they need to do? They need to get Rian Johnson to come back and direct an episode, or a live action episode of either The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, but have him do it under a pseudonym. And then when that episode comes out and everybody says, "Oh, this was the best episode ever. Oh, it was so good." Got you. You just said you liked Rian Johnson. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought that he was, bad for Star Wars as far as his writing and directing, whatever, subjective. It is what it is. But like, if you watch things like, Looper and Brick, Knives Out, Glass Onion, I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. And especially after having watched Glass Onion, he's become one of my favorite directors. And so it's like, okay, so give the fan base more time to cool off. Let more things tie into the sequel trilogy, and then and like you said, have Rian Johnson come back in secret, direct what ends up being the best episode of Mandalorian or something like that, and people are going to say, "Oh my God, I love this!" And then they're going to find out it's him. They're going to find out it's him. It's like, wait a minute, I hate this.
Wait a minute, this is awful. Actually, you know what? Here, as far as the sequel movies go, and they get a lot of hate, and I whatever. But you got to think too, when the prequels first came out, all of them, they all got a lot of hate, and it was, oh, it's not my Star Wars. I can't believe George Lucas ruined Star Wars. Rah, 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 rah.
Not me. I loved them.
And then the sequels come out, and everybody's like, oh, the prequels are made of gold, and they crap diamonds. Oh.
Yeah,
what happened there?
It's funny seeing all the backtracking there, because my main issue with the prequels, I will never say that they're just objectively bad movies, but my main issue with the sequels is the script. I don't like that all the dialogue is expository. It makes everything kind of stale. But that was everybody's problem with it before too. But now that the sequels are out, they're like, oh my God, they're so well written.
Yeah.
And
wait a minute, well written.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
That might have had something to do with the writing and the delivery, but still.
Yeah. But again, I've said this before. The reason that the expanded universe, or the now canon expanded universe, exists is to make the films better. And so after having read Brotherhood on read audiobook, it makes lines like that easier to digest, because that book retroactively made the film make more sense and made it better. So I think, once more connective tissue comes out for the sequels and stuff like that, I think that more people are going to have a better appreciation for it, because they say, okay, now this makes sense, and now this makes sense. But obviously you're going to have your detractors who are like, well, I shouldn't have to read the books and watch these shows to
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What happened?
What happened there? I don't know.
I was like, did my internet go out again?
I
Damn
honestly
it.
thought Cam froze, and I asked you, Debbie, I'm like, did Cam freeze? And then you were like, I was like, oh no. What happened here?
For a second, I thought that you kicked me. I was like, what did I say?
You don't like your opinion.
You know what? It was Facebook. It's the Facebook police. They're after us. They're after us all because we're saying some nice things about the sequel trilogy.
They're hitting us with copyright because we're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh Lordy. Yeah, yes, it was. Although I can't wait for that day when finally everything is tied together, and you can get the people that they finally read the books and they watch The Mandalorian and they watch all this other stuff, and then they're like, oh, the sequels are so good. Then people like us can sit back and go, ha, I told you.
Yeah, I mean it's probably
Yeah, JoJo.
Bye bye.
Good night too.
I mean it's probably not going to be as widespread as it's become with the prequels because especially now with I mean you can't even go into any Facebook group or Facebook page and say anything about Rian Johnson because suddenly you're going to have like 55 people saying, "Oh, you just must not watch a lot of movies." It's a trigger.
It's like okay, so my son and I have, when he's awake, we've been binging Big Bang Theory, and there was one episode of the Big Bang Theory where they're playing paintball. It was basically the one where he says the church, if there's ever a Church of Sheldon, this is where it will have started. But basically, he says, I got to draw everybody out. So he jumps up on top of the hill and he goes, geology isn't a real science. And then all of a sudden, he starts getting shot. And it was like, I just thought of that when you said you can go into any chat room and say, the sequels are great.
Get shot Willem Dafoe platoon style.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you guys will agree with this, but I think maybe this is why Disney is doing all these TV shows, is because not everybody reads the books. I mean, I do, but a lot of people don't, so they don't get the connections that we do. So I think by doing these TV shows, it and like I said before, it ties everything together, and eventually it's going to tie into the sequels. And you don't have to read a book. You can just sit down and watch 6 episodes, or what was it for Andor? 12, 16, whatever.
Andor was 12.
16.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
was it 12?
I don't remember. Oh, maybe it was 12 nights because we got the first 3 episodes the first night, and then 2 episodes somewhere else, and then a 2-episode finale.
But this way, you don't have to read a book, because they are still coming out with books, but I think the TV shows, at least I hope the TV shows will do a much better job of connecting everything together to where you don't necessarily have to read the books.
So that brings up an interesting point then. What if in 2015 they did The Force Awakens, they made The Force Awakens, and then like they did with the original trilogy and with the prequel trilogy, they wait 3 years to do The Last Jedi. But in the midst of that 3 years, they release a season or 2 of some of these shows that we're seeing now to kind of tie it together. Had that happened, I'm wondering if The Last Jedi would have been a lot more well received. Because
it's definitely possible.
People have had time to sit and think about it. And then the same thing, of course, with Rise of Skywalker. You do it 3 years later, and then in the meantime, you're doing some of these shows that are kind of filling in the backstory kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean that this is kind of off track here, but I want y'all's opinion as fellow collectors, does it not bother you that Disney isn't releasing physical media of any of these shows?
Does it not? No.
Blu-ray?
Yeah.
Is what was I thinking of? Is Netflix releasing?
Some
Are they?
things. I mean, Daredevil got physical releases.
Oh, it did. What
Yeah.
about Stranger Things? That's one of the big ones from Netflix.
I believe it. I think so.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure actually.
I'd have to look at that one. But some of these streaming shows that are like huge, no, they're not getting physical releases, and that may be just Disney saying we don't
You
want
have to watch it on
you have
Disney
to
Plus.
you have to subscribe to watch it. In which case, and I know people that do that. They'll subscribe to Disney, watch the one show that they want to watch, and then cancel their membership, and then subscribe again, a year or two later when the next show's out.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like they're missing out on a whole lot of profit, by not releasing physical copies of things like The Mandalorian, The Kenobi Show, and or because I mean, people like you and me, I mean, we buy shit.
yeah, we buy hard copies. It's funny when Disney Plus launched, I owned almost no, actually, yeah, it was. I owned all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe up to that point, and that was including like Endgame. I think the only one I didn't own was Captain Marvel, and that's just because I wasn't ready to go out and pull that trigger.
Really, is that a surprise?
Anybody that's
watched
watching
it once,
CU
and that was
Mondays
enough.
knows that's not a surprise. Anyway, so I own like all of them, and when Disney Plus hit, and they're like, and I was looking at it going, I'm gonna have all these movies here. I did, I cheated and I took my digital copy off, but then I sold all my Blu-rays. I was just like, I don't want these, cluttering up my shelf. The same thing I did with something else too that I've got to stream. It's on stream now, but Star Wars I have on Blu-ray, I have on VHS, I have on DVD, I have on Laserdisc, for God's sakes. The physical copies of the Star Wars movies I will keep. I will hang on to. I will not get rid of those. And that's me. I own the Ewok movies on VHS and on DVD. Both of them. Even though they're both of them on what you call it now? Droids, the cartoon show Droids, and Ewoks from the 80s. They're all on Disney Plus too, but guess what? Own physical copies, VHS and DVD. So
yeah,
if it's Star Wars and it's a physical copy, I'll buy it. Now I'm not gonna go out and buy. Oh, look, they released a new Steel book and it's got a different cover on it, and I'm like, it's the same 3 movies. I'm fine. I got them.
Yeah,
it's okay. I'm not that crazy. Maybe a little crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, when it comes to collecting things, I'm a completionist, 100%. But besides that, there are things that are on only Disney Plus that I really, really love. Like I know it wasn't a huge hit with everybody, but you mentioned the MCU. I'm a huge fan of the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. Oh, yeah. I thought it was great. I loved it. And I would love to have a Blu-ray set of that.
Yeah.
But and the thing with these streaming exclusive shows and movies and other content, if anything were to happen to that streaming service, like let's say Russia decided to get a hair up their ass and say, you know what, we're gonna hack Disney Plus. If anything happened to Disney Plus, all that stuff is gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man.
That's why I kept all my digital copies. I got them somewhere. If I don't have them on Disney Plus, I got them on my backup. So
Yep. In 25 years, you're going to crawl up into your attic and blow the dust off that old hard drive that had that stuff saved on there.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Ewoks rock. There's Geek Gauntlet. He's back again. I buy hard copies when available too.
Yeah.
Again.
Somebody in a Star Wars group that I'm a part of posted a picture of his Star Wars, disc collection. And season 1 of The Mandalorian was in there. All right, I think it was like season 1 and 2. I was like, how in the hell
did you get
that? He's like, oh, well, my cousin bought it for me. I think it's probably a bootleg. It's like, no, it definitely is.
You think? I own the first, I own Dragon Ball Z up through, from the beginning of Dragon Ball Z all the way up through the Cell games, I think. I don't think the Majin Buu, but all the way up through Cell. It's all subtitled. It's all in the original Japanese. It's all subtitled. But you know what? I bought them over in Iraq from a guy for like $5. So I guarantee you that they're not real. I mean, they're real enough I can watch them, but yes, there is a video where people create their own servers and back up hard copies to it. There is. It's called Plex. My brother and I both have it. He has the server at his house, and when I have movies, I send them to him, or when he has movies, he just puts them on. And actually, we can do it with digital copies too, because Luke got all 8. Is that right? 8 Spider-Man movies on Blu-ray for Christmas this year. So it's like the Tobey Maguire trilogy, the Andrew Garfield, the 2 from Andrew Garfield, and then the 3 from Tom Holland. And guess what? They all came with digital copies, and guess what? All of them got downloaded. Because the hard copies are nice to have, but digital copies I can carry my digital copy with me to work. Watch it on my phone if I want to.
Yeah. Can't do that where I work.
I'm sorry. No, I would never watch TV and not pay attention at work. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, my boss, if you're watching.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys ever. Well, I'm sure you're not really big anime fans, but there's an anime series that I'm a big fan of called Fate, and there's the Blu-ray box sets of those are stupid expensive. And I'm completionist again. I wanted to get the Fate prequel series called Fate Zero. Fantastic series. Box set was at the time they only released limited runs of these things. At the time, the Blu-ray box set was completely sold out. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this disc set from this guy off of eBay. That's obviously bootlegged, but I'm gonna buy it anyway because I want to rewatch it. And it came. I popped it in, and the first thing I noticed with it was that the aspect ratio was bonkers. It was all squished in. All the characters were elongated, and I was like, "Oh
God!
Oh no!" But luckily, they re-released the Blu-ray, and as soon as they did that, I was like, "I don't care how much it is. I'm getting it.
I'm buying it." Yes.
Gauntlet, yes. Fate Zero is fantastic.
When I was overseas, that was the only way we could buy it. You could buy a dish and watch TV that way, but there really wasn't anything on the dishes there. So you had to buy movies. Well, Superman Returns came out while I was over there. And 2 weeks after it hit theaters, they had bootleg copies. They were selling bootleg copies on DVD. So I was like, wow. 2 weeks. Okay, let's watch. So we took this Superman Returns DVD, popped it in. Somebody had taken a camcorder into a movie theater. I mean, it was like the movie had a laugh track because people were laughing at the jokes and stuff. At some point, somebody had to go to the bathroom, and you saw him cut across the screen.
Wow.
While he went to the bathroom, and I was just like, that's kind of, I mean, seriously, it was like watching one of these TikToks where people hold their phone up to the TV so you can see what they're saying. It's like, just find the clip. Find the clip and show it.
I'm just thinking of like an old Tex Avery cartoon where like someone stands up in front of a projector, and they start to move across, and the guy's like, "Hey, down in front!"
Down in
and he
front,
throws
that's
the
right.
throws the thing of popcorn.
Now, we did get Revenge of the Sith while we were over there, because that came out in May of 05, and we were over there in no, we were over there in 05. But when we got that one, when it released, that was a I forgot what they call it. It was like an editor's cut. I mean, it had all the special effects in it and everything, and it had, everything was there, but it had along the top, it had like the number. Chris would probably know what I'm talking about. Had like the number of seconds, and it was counting. It was timer counting and all this other stuff. And it was like, okay, this is what the editor uses to splice the movie together, and it was his splice, and it was good copy, other than watching those numbers run across the top, but it was decent. We got to watch Revenge of the Sith. So, okay, Debbie, have we talked about everything, or did you take notes?
Yes, I did take notes. I was with it this week. Yeah, there was only two things that I just wanted to that I thought was kind of cool. One was kind of nostalgia, and the other one was just, I thought it was badass. The badass was Crosshair's trick shots.
Oh
yeah,
with the
reflective
mirrors,
little
those mirrors
pucks
around
or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
that was cool. I'm like, yeah, he's good. He's got skill. And then
100% they're made of Beskar.
The other thing was when the female governor, Tawny Ames, was talking there with Cody, and she mentioned that her and her colleague had proposed some kind of treaty or whatever to both the Separatists and the Republicans, and that the Supreme Chancellor, Palpy, pretty well shot it.
Them.
He gave it the veto.
Yeah, her colleague was Mira. What's her last name? Hold on. Damn it, I had it right here. Bentari? Shit. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
I thought it was kind of cool to see Cody use a vibroblade. We don't see very many of those in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Bonteri,
okay.
Because when I watched the show this morning, because I always watch it, when I'm eating breakfast, so I don't get spoiled on the internet by the end of the day. But when I was watching it this morning, I was like, why does that name sound familiar? And then when I was rewatching it this evening, I was like, there's that name again. So then I put it in, and it was from Clone Wars, season 3. Her and Padme was also, and I assume this other lady, Tawny, evidently all three of them, Padme was helping to come up with this treaty.
This was season 3?
Season 3, she was killed off by Dooku's pawns or whatever.
What was the episode?
Agents?
Do you remember?
Huh?
Do you remember what episode?
I might still have it pulled up on my phone. Hold on.
That might be a rewatchable episode. Uh-oh.
I'm getting it.
What the hell?
Somebody's at the door.
I'm playing the nail.
Yeah, it's my father-in-law.
Aha.
Hi. Sorry. It's all good.
I forgot my key. Fucking need like stitches.
What'd you do?
I took it to the bone.
Do you need to go take care of a family emergency?
Put the big O the whole time my fingers over.
Um,
Push it back on.
I don't I don't think I have to take care of a family emergency, but yeah, he hurt himself.
I felt it all the time.
Oh,
It's the episode called Heroes on Both Sides. That's the name of the episode.
Heroes on Both Sides. I'm gonna have to go check that one out. Maybe I can watch that tomorrow.
And it also has Ahsoka in it because Padme and Ahsoka both travel to on Darien.
Okay.
Lux Bonteri. Anyways, you'll know it once you see it.
Must have been before Ahsoka became tolerable.
Yeah. Now is this Tawny girl? I'm wondering, does she have, because this isn't the first time where we've seen a group of people and they're led by a woman and she's wearing some kind of funny silly mask and she takes it off kind of dramatically and like you're supposed to know exactly who she is. I'm thinking of Enfys Nest, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was almost thinking of Zori Bliss from The Rise of Skywalker, but I was like, wait a minute, she never took off her mask.
No, she never did. And good on them. Good on them.
Well, I mean, their planet when the episode first started, at first I thought it was Geonosis. But further on in the episode, that planet kind of, I mean, not look wise, but it kind of reminded me of Ferrix in Andor.
Oh, okay.
Kind of the same situation, Empire's coming in and trying to take over and whatnot. But yeah. Then I just thought that was a little tidbit.
Cool.
And I watched a couple of videos today and nobody mentioned it. So I was just like,
so you heard it here first on the Cantina Happy Hour, GNN Cantina Happy Hour. We're glad you joined us.
I don't know. The name just sounded familiar, and I was like, I'm surprised I even remembered it because, my memory is not.
We can always count on Debbie for the hard-hitting journalism.
That's right.
Right. I like research, so
Cam,
if something sounds familiar, I'm looking it up. Just ask my kids; they'll ask me something. I'm like, oh, hold on,
I'll find it. Let me Google.
Sounds
that
familiar.
Cam, did you have anything we missed?
No, not really. I mean, the majority of the episode was the fight, but yeah. I mean, well, as far as like the character moments, man, what a strong episode.
Very great, very good episode. Best one so far this season, at least. Best one ever, according to Cam, so far.
Yeah, I hope we see more of Cody later on.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought, maybe we could see him in Mando or we could see him in Ahsoka, but then I thought, well, that's live action, so maybe not.
There's only so many things Tamara Morrison can be a part of.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean, they could de-age him. Well, I guess no, maybe they wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't have to because Mando takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
At
so
point, you're 20
maybe he
plus
could.
Years, 20
maybe
plus
he
years
could end up.
I'm waiting for someone to go back into Return of the Jedi and like deep fake Tamara Morrison's face over that one rebel trooper that everybody says is Rex.
That one rebel trooper that everybody says is Rex has a big white beard, which is in Rebels. When they find Rex, the Lost Commanders, I think was the episode. Guess
Something
what?
like that.
He's got a big white beard.
Rex confirmed. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Like according to our boy Mike Zero.
Yeah. Well, Rex was in Return of the Jedi, so they had this all planned, all from the first.
Further proof that George Lucas was a genius.
That's right. So, shameless plugs. Debbie, what you got?
As far as I know, MCU Mondays, we're doing a year in review, talking about what we liked from the shows and movies. I've been working on my little list and I'm kind of ranking them. So
I
may have to rewatch them this weekend since
I
it's
think
a
there
long
was only
weekend.
one show that I really liked.
Everybody
She-Hulk.
knows that Debbie's favorite show was She-Hulk.
Ugh.
I did like it. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like it.
Miss Marvel was the best one. I liked Miss Marvel, and I
I
hate
haven't
that.
gotten around to watching that yet.
You know, that's one of those ones where I was not a big fan of the character, but the previews for the show intrigued me, and so when I sat, and plus you got to do MCU Mondays, you got to watch it anyways. But as it went on, I really got into that. Not necessarily that particular character, but the way that character was portrayed. I thought it was all done very well. Really liked it. Don't you laugh at me. I
No,
thought it was good.
laughing at William. That show was terrible.
No. William don't know.
I tell you what,
He's talking about
he's
She-Hulk.
talking
He
about
specified.
Okay. All right, William, you're fine. You're fine.
I tell you what,
you're right.
and I don't know if they can be considered part of this phase. I'm not really sure where they fall because they were special presentations. But my two favorites for this group of TV shows and movies was Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special and Werewolf by Night. Those were probably my top two favorites.
Very good. So anyway, that's on MCU Mondays. That is Monday nights at 8:30 Central Time, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here on the Geek News Now YouTube channel, Twitch channel, Facebook Live. We're all over the place. Cam, shameless plugs.
Well, so I'm not my Cam and Focus episode for the middle of this month on Sunday the 15th is actually going to be another live streamed interview with published author Alexander Ferrick. If any of you remember, I think it was back in September I interviewed him. We talked for a little over an hour. Great discussion. It was everything writing. Great discussion. It's on the YouTube page if you want to go check that out. And then I've started my Cam and Focus Storytime live streams on Twitch. So you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/GNN_Cam and Focus, all one word. And I started reading The Plagued Ocean, which is by far the worst book I've ever read in my life. So as of right now, I'm thinking that that's going to be Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I typically have Thursdays off. I did it this morning, talked for over an hour, only got 14 pages in because every couple of sentences I had to stop and say, okay, well, check this out. This is really bad.
It should still be up on our Twitch page. I was fortunate enough to be able to watch most of that show. It was hilarious. It was great. Cam was amazing. Reading and then read and then gripe and then read and then gripe. No, I say that wrong. You weren't griping. You were ranting. Read.
Oh
rant.
yeah.
Read rant.
That was. Oh yeah.
You shouldn't be.
Oh my God.
Shouldn't be
not geeky related. Hold on, not geeky related, but
who died?
Her I see her face. Lisa Marie
Presley
passed away.
Gone? Oh wow. Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, I know. She had a cardiac arrest the other night.
Lisa Marie was the one that was married to Michael Jackson, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she's the daughter. She's Priscilla's daughter.
I don't know if you can see her picture.
She's Elvis's granddaughter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through Facebook and I was just like, I knew she was in the ICU because that was reported earlier today, but wow, she's only 54.
Passed at 54. Holy smokes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
no, hey,
scrolling through Facebook on our show. How dare
breaking news. We are breaking news right here on the GNN Cantina Happy Hour. You're welcome. Welcome. Anyway, go check out Cam and Focus. I think it's still up on the. I think you said what, 2 weeks it'll be up there.
Yeah, 2 weeks. I spaced and totally forgot to set up my Twitch to where my live streams get uploaded directly to YouTube. So I'll have that fixed for future streams, so that way we can immortalize the terror. But yeah, that's going to be every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time until further notice. I'm not 100% set on that schedule just yet, but that's what I'm going. That's what I'm going with for now. And I will be reading that entire book. So
that's what you should have named it. You shouldn't. It shouldn't be Cam's Story Times. It should be Cam's Reads and Rants.
Hey, there you go.
Cam Reads and Rants. Beautiful. Love it. Okay. Geek Gauntlet. Don't forget to check them out. They're on Saturday nights. They're right here. Same time. Same channel. Geek News Now. Also check out geeknewsnow.net. Check out our webpage. We got a lot of cool content going up there. 2023 has just started. We're going to be out at conventions. We're going to be out at doing things, meet and greets, and all that kind of fun stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a big stuff planned for this year. I can't wait. I've got at least 2 or 3 that I'm ready to go to. Every Thursday night, we're here at the Cantina Happy Hour. We'll have discussions on the Bad Batch up until March 1st, and then we split the show to Bad Batch and Mandalorian Season 3.
Space Daddy!
And actually, okay, so a bit of Star Wars news. This was released today that we'll get another preview for Mando Season 3, a good, solid preview, Monday night during the football game,
I believe. Yeah.
Is it a college football?
Wait, I said that wrong. During the football contest. So no, it's the wild card. It's the NFL. It's a wild card.
I don't watch sports anymore, so
I watch hockey, and that's about it. But
yeah, this is supposed to be the final trailer.
Yes, and then we get our show on March 1st.
It's the final trailer till we get like 58 TV spots that spoil the whole show.
I don't watch those, so I'm not worried about
the TV spots for Mando in seasons past have everything that's been in them really has been like just the first episode, just stuff from the first episode. There may be a few other things from later on in the episode, but mostly it's so it doesn't spoil too much, and that's good. I like that. But anyway, we'll be here. We'll be talking about it. Geeknewsnow.net. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram. Oh, one other thing. I don't know if you caught my thing during Christmas time from December 1st to December 24th. I did the Advent calendar. I got me some cool Lego sets. I got me a new 501st Battle Pack.
Nice.
And I got me it says it wrong, but I got me a Slave 1 microfighter. It's Slave 1. Slave 1. We say Slave 1 here. We don't say Boba Fett Starship. Anyway.
Or Fire Spray.
Fire Spray. Slave 1. That's the name of it. Slave 1.
The forcibly employed one.
The prisoners with jobs one. Anyway, all that aside, I'm going to be doing. At some point, and I need to get with you, William. I want to do I'm going to do a live build. It's going to be awesome. I've got 2 cameras now. I got me a new camera for Christmas. I'm excited about it, but now I've got 2 cameras, so I can do where I can sit and talk to you and build down here, and you can see what I'm building, and it's going to be great. But that's in the future. I need to work some details out with that. Anyway, all that being said, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Join us back here next Thursday night for Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 4. We will see you all next Thursday night, and may the Force